Yasas. This is an essay that I wrote called What Being an Ethnikofron Means to Me. The word ethnikofron has several meanings. Since I am using it as it relates to the revolution of the 21st of April 1967, as well as in its conventional sense, I'll give the definition from Wikipedia. More specifically, this is from the article entitled Glossary of the Greek Military Junta. To think of the nation or nation-minded, i.e. patriot, loosely translated, usually meaning right-winger and supporter of the junta. Certainly, I am all of these things, though I do have some ideas which would not be considered right-wing. In any case, I do consider myself to be an ethnikofron, and as I've developed this part of myself, I've learned that it's not merely enough to love my country or to support the revolution. This is especially true now that only one of our leaders, Brigadier General Stylianos Patakos, is still with us, and while we're all in the midst of an economic crisis. So I set about trying to define the term, not only in beliefs, but also in actions. I came to one conclusion. Since there are so few of us, it is essential that we look, act, think, and live to the best of our potential. It's fine to say, I love Elada, or I love our national saviors, but how do we then project that love? What sets us apart from the average people out on the street, and even from the Andethniki? The answer lies in how we conduct ourselves, both inwardly and outwardly. When we walk down the street, we are seen by others, as is everyone else. Therefore, it is essential that we always look our best, as much as possible. Even in rags, someone could have a certain presence that is difficult to ignore. So if we have the means to dress well, we should do so, as this will only enhance us. Therefore, we should not look to fashion trends, but to the appropriateness of clothing, not only to fit the occasion, but also the image that we're representing. We need to show self-confidence as well, not by force, but as shown in our actions and our demeanor. Only then will we be taken seriously. Our leaders used to say, "Αποφασίζομεν και διατάζομεν." We decide and we order, not "νομίζομεν και μήπως θα το κάνομεν." We think and maybe we'll do it. Of course, most of us don't have the power to order people to do things, but that doesn't mean that we can't take control of ourselves. This is where acting comes into play. As nationalists, we must put the nation and not ourselves first. This means not only with large projects, but ones on a smaller scale as well, like going out into our communities and helping there. We could, for example, spend time with the elderly to learn from them, or help plant trees, or read to children. We could help our families around the house, or get involved in a cause that's important to us, which will benefit the neighborhood, the environment, the nation, etc. The point here is that we do something and not merely talk about it. Thinking is just as important as acting. To Pistevo Mas by Colonel Papadopoulos is one of the most important texts that we can read, if we are blessed with the knowledge of Katharevouza. Sadly, I am not at this time. Yet even I know that these books weren't written overnight. Neither was Colonel Papadopoulos born with the great amount of wisdom which he displayed as our leader. Rather, he listened and learned and gained wisdom through experience. Naturally, this is true of our other saviors as well. We, as their followers, must do the same. There's only so much that books can tell us. At some point, we must step away from our computers, our teachers, and so on, and explore our innermost being. Such a journey is just as difficult, long, and painstaking as the revolution itself. We must face our fears and admit not only our accomplishments, but our failures as well. We must set aside our own biases and the walls which we are constantly putting up and look within to that most secret place. Once we find out what we're made of, we will then achieve calm, order, and security in the highest senses of those words. Yet we must not forget the mundane self-improvements along with the spiritual ones. These will be different for each of us. One person may wish to lose weight, another may wish to gain some. One may need help with organizational skills, and another may need to learn to relax if a cup is put in the wrong shelf by a friend. Whatever our goals are, we must meet them head on, even when we don't want to make the effort. Doing so will benefit us in the long run and make us better able to serve Elada, our families, and ourselves. Considering how intellectuals were often seemingly not appreciated during the revolution, some may find this next idea a bit strange, yet it's part of the one related to thinking. For without it, we could not reach our full potential. Once we know ourselves, we must learn about the world around us. Certainly, there are instances in which personal experience is best, but other things, particularly abstract concepts, require formal education. Therefore, be it a scholarly pursuit or a more hands-on experience, we must endeavor to seek knowledge. We can only fight our opponents if we can meet them on their level. Rather than shunning the so-called ivory tower, we should embrace it. It's important to remember that Colonel Macarezos actually studied economics, along with political science. His treatment of the economy, both as coordination minister and in the book Y Economía tis Helados, demonstrated that fact. Again, once we have achieved a level of knowledge and wisdom that is sufficient for our individual needs, we will be far better prepared to make decisions, to share our wisdom with others, and to argue our positions with a greater degree of persuasion. Yet we must start by incorporating these changes slowly into our lives, and only add new ones when the old ones become habits. In that way, we can safely assume our new attitudes and ways of living. Otherwise, we will be forced to fight a losing battle with ourselves, as one part of us wishes to get everything done right now, and the other wishes to stop everything and sleep or go back to the old ways of life. That way, when we do make mistakes, as all people do, our previous successes will aid us in regaining our focus and strength for whatever life may hold in the future. So these 4 ideas, the looking, which is on the surface of things, the acting, which helps mold us into the kinds of people we wish to be, the thinking, which occurs mostly within, and the projecting of our new knowledge and attitudes to the public, are all parts of what it means to be an ethnikofron. To live as an ethnikofron. There is a difference. When we approach the world at large, we are, as it were, carrying the torch that was lit in 1821 by the heroes of the War of Independence, and then tended by all 4 of our national saviors. We set ourselves as examples of what it means to really be Elines. This is why it's so important that we live with values and morals. Things like honesty, integrity, loyalty, patriotism, religion, friendship, and prudence are what will guide us through these terrible times. Once we have a firm grasp on all of these, we can begin to teach the young and hopefully to influence the nation as we do so. It will be a slow and painful process, but as long as we keep our wits about us, we can and will make it a successful one.